Hello everybody, this is Moose101, and today I'm going to have a discussion about the upcoming ban list, at least that is anticipated to be released in the next few days in the TCG. And what I want to discuss about it is a card that I didn't really think would appear on there, but I've heard a little bit of talk about, and that is Lavalval Chain. I didn't really see too much discussion about this card, but I've kind of seen it pop up recently, and I thought I'd just kind of throw my 2 cents in there and see what your guys' opinions are. I won't apologize, the visuals for this video are not going to be too interesting because I actually do not have a Lavalval Chain on hand or any cards I really thought would be topical. So I'm sorry that the visuals aren't going to be the most interesting, but I think what I have to say might be. So, for those of you who don't know, Lavalval Chain is a rank 4 generic Xyz monster, so you can make it with any 2 level 4 monsters. And once per turn, you can attach material from it to activate one of 2 effects. You can either send a card from your deck to the graveyard, or you can take a monster from your deck and place it on top of your deck. And some people are saying that this card should be banned. And the reason for this is that it's used in a couple different decks to make some really insane plays. In Necroz, it's the easiest way to set up the Djinn lock by just going with a Unicorn and then when your mana juice or send juice or whatever, and then just send the Djinn and then banish them from graveyard when you make Colossus and boom, Djinn lock. But it's also used in other decks like Infernities and will almost certainly be used in the upcoming Clownblade if it is not hit in some fashion or form, because Clownblade can use that and send Archfiend Eris and search Archfiends, and now we've got Infernities doing things in a deck that really did not need those. But I don't think this card should be banned. I want to put that up front. I really don't like the habit that Konami has sometimes had where they hit cards that aren't actually a piece of the archetype to try to weaken the archetype that is using it. And I saw that with Necroz when Preparation of Rites went to 1. I really wasn't happy with that hit because I realized, well, it is a good plussy card. It felt a little bit like they could have hit Necroz more specifically, and instead they just kind of took a broad stroke at all ritual decks, you know, minus a few. And I didn't really like that, and for the same reason, I'm not going to be totally happy if they hit the Djinn in the upcoming ban list and don't hit the Necroz specific cards, because I really hate to see that happen, and I hate to see Lavalval Chain get banned for a few decks abusing it when those few decks could easily be hit. And while it might be the easiest hit to make, I don't think it's the best. I've seen people making the argument that the reason they should just ban Lavalval Chain is not really used by any other deck, but I really don't think that's true. Even if a deck can't use the Foolish Burial style effect, which quite a few can outside of just Clownblade, which is coming out, and Necroz and Infernity, Lavalvals themselves can obviously use that because they send stuff from deck to graveyard, and yes, while it's not the most practical to make rank 4s the deck, it's certainly not hard, as it's quite easy to just banish a Magma Cannoneer and then go Cannon, Cannoneer, Overlay. So I don't think that's kind of irrelevant, though, because Lavalvals don't play with Lavalvals. But the second effect, where you get to stack a monster, I feel like that is really useful. Like, any kind of deck that makes a lot of rank 4 monsters wants to run Lavalval Chain for the consistency it can offer if they don't have their own archetype-specific searchers they can make. And that's kind of a broad statement, but I feel fairly confident in making it because I see Lavalval Chain pop up in a lot of decks as just a generic staple, and I never feel like it's out of control in 90% of decks. And so I feel like seeing this card not even get limited or semi-limited, but just get banned completely seems really unfortunate when it can be used in a lot of other decks to really no negative effect. I think it enhances the rank 4 Xyz pool, which, you know, well, it's certainly not the greatest pool in the game, or sorry, it is the greatest pool in the game. It is obviously the greatest pool in the game. It's not the one the most needed support, but I like having the options in it. I think it adds versatility when there isn't only destruction effects in the rank 4 pool, because otherwise, if there was no Lavalval Chain, what would people run? I mean, you'd run Exodon and Castel and 101, but Lavalval Chain and Dieguster Emerald and other utility rank 4s are kind of the follow-ups to those, and I feel like if those were gone, people wouldn't then go to, like, Utopia, they'd go to, like, Mystroke and more removal-focused rank 4 monsters, and I think it would be more interesting to keep the extra deck more varied, so that duels don't just become a matter of, I make my rank 4, I move your rank 4, next turn I make my rank 4, I move your rank 4, because I don't think that's very interesting, and a lot of decks do make rank 4 monsters very repetitively, so I feel like that's an element of play we need to keep in mind when we're making hits on the ban list. I'm going to try not to ramble on too long, so I think I'll conclude the video here. If you liked it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'm really interested in hearing what you think. Do you think this card is worth banning? I don't know, so leave a comment and tell me what you think. Until next time, see ya!